it's just a quick update in regards to my brakes. So my plan of using the stock lines was a little thrown off when I tried to remove the front driver's side line and the line going up to the brake master cylinder, as they were just completely seized in the proportioning valve. So using my wrenches, I ended up rounding off the ends of the brake lines. So I had to cut them off, take it out, throw it up in the vise here, use a channel locks on them to get the fittings out of the proportioning valve, because these non-ABS proportioning valves are kind of hard to find. If you do find them, they're kind of expensive. So I really wanted to make sure I hold on to this because I can clean everything else up. So what I end up doing is that, if you notice, I got the one fitting here. Well, I already had one line break on me. I ended up just going with a braided line, and I'll pick one up. That's what I ended up doing with the other two sets here that broke. I'll pick up some fittings and some lines online, and I'll end up going with the braided lines on there and routing them out instead of having to worry about the hard lines. I'll end up picking another one up for the passenger side front brake lines also, so we have a matching set. So I'm still working on finishing up stripping all the stuff off the firewall and everything to get the engine bay prepped for paint. I'm at the point now where I need to turn my attention to the inside of the car in order to finish off the firewall. I'm going to have to pull the dash out so I can get to items like the brake booster, the clutch system, because you can't really access. Well, you can, but it's a lot easier to do it with the dashboard out. I've got to pull the dashboard anyway because I'm going to be swapping it out. There's a lot of other things and a lot of other details that are going around that, which I'll get to later on in the series when we start turning our attention more toward the interior and getting the interior back together. Because a lot of it will get pulled out when we start doing the door jambs and stuff like that, just for safety. So. Okay, so we got the dash out here, and as you can see, I've got cracks in the dash. Some kind of weird discoloration started happening about 6 months ago or something. I have no clue what it's from, but whatever I did, I couldn't get it out. Scrubbing on it, it stayed. It's almost like oil or something. It's like either coming through or just from the natural sunlight, which is odd because the car has been in the garage for the last 2 years now, so I don't know why it would have started doing this all of a sudden. But the main part is these cracks here in the dash. This was a used dash I had gotten years ago. It was the only thing I had at the time, so I went ahead and used it. But I've got another perfectly good dashboard upstairs. It is a first-gen dash, so my little second-gen airbag cubby hole here I'm going to lose, which is fine because I never did finish it off anyway, and it always bugged me. But we'll get everything from this dash here swapped over into the new dash, and then we'll get all that mounted back up when the paint and everything's done with. Gone, and we've gotten all the holes all filled up. They're all welded up nicely, all the spots that I had marked. Got them all ground down. This is just a light grinding and sanding now, just to get them about as flush as possible. We'll go back through with some glazing putty, fill in little imperfections on there and sand them out smooth when we do the full body sand. I just got two little spots there I just noticed on the back of the firewall to finish up. And then we'll be all set. Everything's been stripped out of the firewall now completely. So what we'll do next is we'll start getting a scrubbing down on this. We'll get the engine bay degreased, scrub it all down with probably a 500 grit sandpaper, and then we'll get ready to spray it.